Hey everyone. Yep, welcome to this audio video review, whatever you want to call it, of Sonic the Hedgehog issue 282, I should say, 282. The second to last issue before we start the Panic in the Sky saga. Of course, from what we understand, 283 is supposed to be coming out possibly next month, which means the saga itself will begin in August. So you're looking at August, September, October, and November as the schedule for the saga. Overall, though, looking at 282, and of course it's got it's got two stories, a backstory and a main story. The main story, which is the continuation from last issue, I thought was okay. I like how it starts out with Sonic at night with Sonic transforming into his werehog form, and it kind of startles some of Dulcie's team a little bit. Even Diane, I think that's her name, when she comes back with Chip from scouting the area. But basically, some of them are startled. The Turtle Girl, Bunker, I think, is, I guess, through meditation, senses that Sonic is still pure, still good and everything, and basically it's helping him fight through the Dark Gaia effects. And she asked Sally basically how long Sonic's been like this, and Sally, I guess, like like Sally like or whatever, kind of says, since the first tremors, since the world shattered, kind of not sarcastically, but kind of like humorously, if you will. Anyway, like I said, Diane and Chip report that Conquering Storm's forces are nowhere to be seen, and that the guardian of the Gaia Key, the last Gaia Key, is trapped between the temple area and the corrupted Dark Phoenix, the Dark Gaia Phoenix, if you will. So Sally estimates, and well, of course, Dulcie doesn't like this a bit, but Sally estimates that, either, Conquering Storm wants them to fight the Dark Gaia Phoenix to take care of it for them, or they're planning to ambush them while they take care of the Dark Gaia Phoenix. So either way, she says it's a trap. Like, okay, they either want us to take care of the Dark Gaia Phoenix for them, and then attack for them, or they want to ambush just while we're trying to do so. So Sally comes up with a plan to ambush them instead. Someone gets the guardian of the last Gaia Key out of there, as well as distracts and fights the Dark Gaia Phoenix. Well, also at the same time, and they do mention this, Chip uses his restored powers to cure the Phoenix from the Dark Gaia influence. So again, Sally comes up with a plan to basically turn the tables on Conquering Storm and her crew. So anyway, long story short, they show up, Sonic and Chip show up where the Guardian is, Zorshin, I think his name is Zorshin, I can't pronounce it right, where the last Gaia Key Guardian is, and they ask how he's doing. He says he's cold, hungry, a little burnt around the edges, or crisp around the edges, but so far good. And they're telling him they're going to help, and they're telling him that they're to help him get him out of there. And as soon as they tell him that, that's when the corrupted Dark Gaia Phoenix shows up, and Sonic tells the Guardian, the last Key Guardian, to hold the thought for a second, hold that thought he was going to have for a second, and while he confronts the corrupted Phoenix. So they end up fighting. Conquering Storm and her crew see this. She basically sees this and says that she would not expect anything less from Sonic, going toe to toe with something like the Phoenix, but wonders where Sally and the others are, because there's no way she would let Sonic do this alone. So again, long story short, what happens is Sonic takes a pitcher of water or a vase of water, throws it at the Dark Gaia Phoenix, weakens it. Conquering Storm notices this and says, they can't wait any longer to attack. They attack, and they do. But what they don't realize is they're being ambushed while they're trying to set up their own ambush. And while they attack, Sally notices them going in for the attack on Sonic, and kind of says to herself that it's just as planned. And then basically, along with Antoine, Big, Cream, and Cheese, and Dulcie's team, they end up ambushing Conquering Storm and her team long enough to allow Chip to allow Sonic to continue to deal with the Dark Gaia Phoenix, as well as allow Chip to go up to it and use his restored powers to restore the Dark Gaia Phoenix back to normal. And of course, Conquering Storm sees that things are kind of backfiring on them, things are not going their way. She ends up sucker punching, I guess you could say, or kicking Dulcie she punches Dulcie in the face. Sally is surprised by this, calls out Dulcie's name, and Conquering Storm is berating Dulcie, thinking, that this plan of Sally's only gave you a momentary momentum, and it's going to backfire on you, and and basically points that there's no way that together Sally's team or Dulcie's team can beat them. And Dulcie basically points out to her, well, duh, I know that. Sometimes an attack isn't always meant for victory or to achieve victory. Sometimes it's used as a diversion, and that's exactly what happens. It happens because right on cue, Conquering Storm turns around and notices Chip, who's the light Gaia, uses restored powers to restore the Phoenix. Sonic points out that now the Phoenix is on their side. Conquering Storm tells her troops to try to return to the base, but Sonic points out, hey, that base on the mountain you mean? It's about to be reduced to ashes, and the restored light Gaia spirit of the Phoenix basically uses its power to basically burn down the base into ashes, as Sonic said. And Conquering Storm says, okay, fine, and tells Dulcie, enjoy your victory, it'll be your last. And in traditional ninja fashion, uses a smoke bomb. In traditional ninja fashion, I should say, uses a smoke bomb to vanish. Basically going ninja vanish kind of deal. And retreats along with her troops. Anyway, in the end, they do end up getting Thorishin. I can't pronounce his name right. Thorishin shows his gratitude by giving him the light Gaia key, by giving him the last Gaia key that they need. They're happy about this, and it's ended with Sally telling Dulcie that it's least that, Sonic basically. Well, here's the thing. Sonic, after they get the last Gaia key, says now they got this and all 7 emeralds, they can fix the planet. But Sally basically points out, well, she's got some thoughts on that, which obviously allude to the next story that we're going to get to. But does say that the positive thing is at least she knows the planet along the way is in good, safe hands, and Dulcie thanks her for that. So that ends the first story, and the first story I'll say was okay. It did kind of bring full circle the freedom fighters accomplishing the goal of getting everything they need to restore the planet, except for one thing, and that is sort of started off in the next story. So overall, the main story of 282 was good. Now we go on to the second story, which is Shards and Sparks, and this is a prelude story to the Knuckles and Amy Sonic Universe arc, which is coming up. So anyway, Knuckles, Amy are joined along with Mighty and Ray, and they go to storm Thunderbolt's base, if you will, to locate and get some of the shards of the Master Emerald, which conveniently Thunderbolt had collected herself to give to Eggman. Now, the reason she wants to give this to Eggman is berating her, saying she's on thin ice. The fact that she lost the Chaos Emerald, she lost two Super Badniks, and all that. But she goes on to mention that, hey, I found these, and Eggman basically acknowledges that, hey, that's good. Well, not acknowledges, but kind of changes its tone, apologizes, or takes back his shouting and yelling and berating of her, because at least he knows Nagus doesn't have all the Master Emerald Shards, and that she has a few of them right there for him to take to him. But as she's telling him this, that's when the alarm goes off. And Eggman wants to know what it is. She sees Knuckles and Mighty on the view screen and acknowledges to Eggman it's dead meat. So yeah, she's not happy about this. And basically the plan is for Amy to just, I guess, take care of one area, Mighty to sort of be like a lookout for them, everything, and Knuckles and Mighty to take care of the egg soldiers and any kind of company that they face. So while they're dealing with the egg soldiers and eventually Thunderbolt, if you will, they use this opportunity to retrieve the shards. Thunderbolt tries to stop them and everything, but Knuckles distracts her by fighting her. And by using this fight as a distraction, Mighty is able to get the capsule with the Master Emeralds in them. Gets the acknowledgement from Ray that the coast is clear because all the egg soldiers there are all convening on the location of Thunderbolt and everything. And basically, like I say, he uses this opportunity because there's a hole that they made in the wall or in the ceiling to launch the capsule with the Master Shards back to Moss's area, and not in Moss's lap, but basically right and directly in front of him. And Moss basically looks at this calmly and is like, close enough. So anyway, they're able to do that. Thunderbolt's not happy, basically declaring that she'll burn down the jungle to cinders and ashes to retrieve them after she's taken care of Knuckles and Mighty. Because she has our egg soldiers helping her and the base at her disposal. But Mighty points out that's it's kind of funny you mention your base, especially your central control area, because that's where we see Amy at, and Amy kind of playing cutesy and all that. Wonders, ooh, look at this control panel. I wonder what these buttons do. Wonder what all this does, all these buttons and gizmos do. And then she notices a loudspeaker, of course, like for the alarm and everything, and she whistles in it, basically giving the Thunderbolt's egg soldiers an earache. Then she just presses one little button, and some badniks end up malfunctioning and going after some of the egg soldiers. And then she just uses a pico hammer to basically bash the entire control panel into pieces. And then she kind of breaks the fourth wall when she's leaving, acknowledging that, oops, I really did break it. Maybe I should have left this to Tails. Yeah, she broke the fourth wall, folks, in this issue. Anyway, long story short, they're able to get the Master Emeralds, and all they need now is just 2 more Master Emerald Shards to complete their task and hopefully get the Master Emerald restored before Sonic and company restore the world themselves, because if they restore the world before the Master Emerald restored, Angel Island will fall into the ocean. So, yeah. And basically, we end this prologue story, or prelude story, into the Knuckles and Amy Sonic Universe arc, with Amy finding out that the remaining shards are in the Kingdom of Acorn, West Side Island. So, that leads us into Sonic Universe, the Knuckles and Amy story arc. Anyway, overall, I thought the second story was a good prelude to the Universe arc. I liked how it kind of began it kind of started things out. So can't wait to see what they got planned for the universe, and that's all I'm going to say. So let me know what you guys think down below. Overall, I have to say the 282 was a good second to last issue before Panic in the Sky. Both stories delivered when they needed to, and that's all I'm going to say. So